That's nice, gang. Shit like that I like. That's real creative. See something like that, I'll be done have my train out here. They got them big Mercedes Sprinter vans. Yeah, gang. So now we get to the good stuff now. Turned it back on now. We finna walk to the school to pick up my niece and take her and let her enjoy. Whew. Let her go and enjoy, gang. I got to come check on my favorite white guy, Mr. Nagel. Stay right there. My favorite white guy. I used to always do work for him. That's my buddy, Mr. Nagel. I'll stop and check on him one of these days when I come through here. But yeah, y'all ain't seen me go this way in a long time. I normally come and go to the head of the block, cut it off. But like I say, today we doing something different, gang. We on the way down here to go pick my niece up from school. Yeah. Picking my niece up from school. I'm trying to figure out why my light got so dim. But we ain't gonna worry about it. Let's just go on down and make my way. Man, gang, telling you, when I look at this neighborhood and see this neighborhood, man, I think good. Like I say, well, I love this neighborhood so much because my parents was the second set of black parents over here when the white people was over here. When the white people was firebombing over here, my grandma and granddaddy moved over here and they was the second black family over here. Hey, how you doing? We used to play basketball here at Mr. Smith house. This was a childhood house with the basketball court. He built the court so we could all play in the yard. See the court? We used to play back there at that court. We used to play. We used to come to this house because Tabitha used to stay here. They used to fix cars right here. White people, I'm finna show y'all the house where the white people stayed at. Right here. This house right here. White people used to stay in here. When they first moved around here, they got into it with my little brother. They jumped my little brother, gang. And at that time, I was a full-fledged gang member, gang. They jumped my brother, boy. Nigga came down here like grease lightning. This Cadillac been sitting here since I was a kid. Yep. That's my friend Jermaine Brown house right there. His father painted that house like that because he wanted the house to be like the color of the Jordans. So that was that. Let me make sure I didn't drop no money. No, shit, it felt like I dropped my money. I just had to make sure and check. I don't want nothing falling all out, and I had to go back and be looking for nothing. But yeah, man, we had good times through this neighborhood. One of the neighbors used to stay right here. Gang, we used to be all through here. This was the neighborhood to be, man. You wanted to have you some fun, you had you some fun in Beverly. Had you some fun in Beverly. That house always had something going out. Yeah. I'm gonna show y'all a house right here growing up. That man, this house right here growing up, right here, 10201. Growing up all my life, as a kid, they used to have dogs right here. We couldn't make it to school because the white lady that stayed in that house back in the day used to sick them dogs on our ass like we was hey, how you doing? The lady used to sick them dogs on the motherfucker, boy, when we was growing, coming through here as kids. We couldn't walk through here, boy. This shit was racist. The park was racist. They was hanging black folks at the park over here. This neighborhood got, like I say, man, I remember the neighborhood like at the back of my hand because I was through this bitch. Brandy and them stay here. Girl named Brandy and her brother stay here. Uh, that little house right there. I don't know if y'all can see it, the little one straight ahead. I used to have a crush on the lady that stayed in that house. My guy Arthur and them used to stay down here. That's the house we grew up. Well, I ain't gonna say grew up. That was the house, man. We used to have all the fun in that house right there, gang. That beige one. We grew. We literally was all at that house. That was the house, gang. This was the house I got my third piece of pussy from out of the chick in that house. Damn, boy. Neighborhood just bring back memories, man. Especially in a neighborhood that you grew up in and you know the neighborhood. Telling you, gang. These was the good old days. The good old days of Beverly. Good old days of just getting out and enjoying. Finna get ready. Like I say now, this house right here this was the house that two twins, we had back in the day, two older twins, they was DJs. So, like I say, man, this neighborhood carry a lot of love for me, man. That was the gas station. This wasn't always a this wasn't always a cleaners. Right now it's a cleaners, a jerk spot, but it wasn't always that. It was not always that. Oh, yeah, man, but this was the old hood, man. We used to have the bank right here, which used to be Beverly Bank back in the day. They had fireworks show. They had the fireworks show up here, and they used to block all this shit off and just had the fireworks and barbecue and all types of shit up here for a nigga. Back in the day, the area didn't change. It's not even the bank. Not even. I don't even think the bank name is Beverly Bank no more. I don't think it's called U.S. Bank now. It's called U.S. Bank. It used to be called Beverly Bank back in the day when we was going here. When I first got my very first job, that's where I cashed my very first check at. Right there. That was the spot. That was the spot, gang. Now, this my old school gang, my old alma mater gang. My old school. Alice A. Bernard gang. But back in there, where all that grass used to be at, they used to have mobile homes. They had mobile homes back up in there. And y'all, and I done did some videos where I didn't I done did some videos where I didn't walk past this and then showed y'all this. See, like I say, I didn't actually show some videos and shit, man. Like I say, so now we just sitting away from waiting for her to get out of school. So now I can take her to the store, then I'm taking her back home, and then that's it. I'm finna sit on the steps. I'm not finna sit on them dirty ass bushes. But yeah, y'all see it. A plus. This was gang. You know how they say, what do you remember the most about grammar school? And you know what I remember the most about grammar school? I remember in this school, in the office, it used to be an office, and then behind the office, it used to be they had like a single desk that would sit behind the office. It was a desk behind the office. And I always remember having to be in that office on I always remember having to be in that office at this one desk that was behind there, gang. When I was at the school, I ain't gonna lie, gang, I was a menace. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was a straight up menace. I was a menace, sir. I wasn't no bully or none of that. I was just in the school and I was just, you know how they say you be hard headed. I was in here, I was hard headed. I was that at that point in time, I was a kid, I was difficult, I had a bad mouth. So that's what kept me in a lot of trouble. A lot of the times it was my mouth. I had that badass mouth. And my mouth used to keep me in trouble. Would keep me in trouble, so that's why I stayed in the office so much. You know? So I had really no choice but to just so like I say, that's mainly what did it for me because I was one of those kids that stayed in the trouble. I mean, I stayed in a lot of trouble. Yeah, like I say, so shit. This is like, how you doing, baby? It's like, it's a blessing to be able to, you look at it, it's a blessing to be able to see the school again because this was the school. Hey, pup, how you doing, sweetheart? All right. Like I say, because you want to be able to, because this was the school that I grew up at. This was my childhood school, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Back in the day, growing up, my bad ass was a problem child. I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't. I never had a problem with authority or none of that. It was more like I had a problem with my mouth. I kept cursing. Like my mouth was the star of attraction when it came to um, everything else. It was my mouth, man. Okay. It was that mouth, man. My mouth was so, I ain't gonna lie. When they say you have like I had like a real vulgar mouth, and I didn't. At that point in time, my mouth was more like my mouth was more like a firework. It kept me in trouble. I remember getting into trouble. I remember me cursing. I remember mom and grandma washing my mouth out with soap. As a kid, like I say, man, this school bring back a lot of memories, Jack. This school bring back a lot of memories. I was a color guard here. This is where I first started my um you know how I played when I played I grew up playing the piano. This was the first spot that I learned to play the piano at, man. This was the first school I learned to play the piano and really get good at it. Because as I got older, my mom and them bought me a piano. They bought me a piano to have at home. So inside my house, I had a piano, and then they bought me a real small organ. So I had a piano and an organ in the crib. But what I'm finna do right now, I'm finna run this, I'm finna shut it off until I get ready and go back to the door. When I pick my niece back up, I'm gonna turn it back on, gang. So y'all can see what else I got going on. All right.